A second political issue, which all trade negotiators know fully well, concerns a collective action problem. The gains from trade opening tend to be distributed widely within societies, and individual gains from trade opening may be relatively small. So, being small, they may be not that visible for most voters. But the losses from trade reform tend to hit relatively small groups and are often heavily concentrated. The losers from greater trade opening have a higher incentive to lobby against trade reforms than the winners. And this may slow down or reverse the process, even though overall gains exceed overall losses. A third issue relates to uncertainty. Voters usually tend to prefer the status quo. That is, they will vote against trade reform, as they may not know in advance whether they will be among the winners or among the losers. So the fragmentation of production implied by offshoring intensifies this uncertainty and probably the public reticence to embrace change that is overall beneficial. My final point on this political side of the coin touches upon domestic policies in an economically integrated world. As we all know, today the economy is more and more global, but politics remain local. And this discrepancy may lead national governments to choose domestic-oriented policies which reduce the likelihood of further economic integration at a global level. But globalization, and I think the economic crisis we've entered into is a good example of this reality, is moving international interdependence to a level which we had never seen before. And this process creates new and stronger forms of policy considerations that cross national borders, be it in the area of social choice, environmental standards, financial market regulation, or elsewhere. There is, therefore, a need for more and better global rules, but there is also a need for domestic policies which are coherent and complementary to the global ones. And as I mentioned a fortnight ago during a recent visit to Berkeley, speaking to American students on the same topic, I'm convinced, for instance, that restoring the confidence of Americans in trade requires ensuring that the right health and pension systems are in place through the appropriate domestic tax and spending policies. I'm all more open in public that the electoral campaign is now over. Now, equally, to take another example, boosting domestic consumption in China, which today is probably limited by its high saving rate, would also necessitate greater spending in social policies in areas like health or education.